Hello and welcome to my channel Color Story by D.I.Y. So today we shall be making these spherical tea light holders with real flowers and epoxy. This one has sunflowers, straw flowers and hydrangeas encased, and this one has pink roses, white straw flowers and some hydrangeas and bunny tails. You can take flowers of your choice as you would want them to be, and let's get going. So first and the foremost, we need a silicone spherical mold with a tea light slot, and you have to make sure the mold is clean. I am using a soft cloth. Just wipe the mold from inside, make sure the cloth is dry and not wet, and remove any dust that is inside. You can use a microfiber cloth because that will attract the dust and there will be no dust inside the mold. Similarly, I'm doing the other mold. So once you have mixed your resin in the prescribed ratio, this resin, if you see there are no bubbles, I have used a pressure pot to remove and eliminate all the bubbles. I'm pouring a little bit of resin into the mold. Now that we have a little bit of resin just covering the tea light area, we need to let it sit for another 4 to 5 hours before we come and add our flowers. I'm going to add a little bit of green hydrangeas and these yellow straw flowers in the first mold. You have to take care that the flowers are totally dry and have no moisture in them. While you're placing the flowers, just make sure that the flowers are not too much sticking to the wall, this way. If the flowers are too much on the wall, then there might be some air bubbles that will show up once you will demold it. So make sure the flowers are in the center instead of touching the walls. Okay, let's take a yellow straw flower. All the flowers have to be placed facing outwards or facing down, because the mold, when you will be demolding this, it will come out the other way side. A little bit of more hydrangeas on this side. Some yellow daisies. And that's it. The next one I shall be doing pink hydrangeas. A dry rose. Again, just make sure the rose is not too much on the wall, a little inside, but then again we have to fill this gap. So let me take these pink daisies and put them here. It all depends, entirely depends on you how you want to fill up the mold. You can just put one single flower or maybe make a bunch of flowers and then insert inside. It's entirely up to you. Now we are going to measure the resin again, and we make sure, because the mold is too deep, we will pour resin little by little after every 3 to 4 hours. 30 grams of resin, tear it down, and 30 grams of hardener and 60 grams of resin. Okay, this is 68. So we have 8 units more of resin, so we need to add 4 units more of hardener. I think I'm out of hardener here. Let me get more. Adding 4 more points of hardener. Now if you don't have a pressure pot, just make sure while you mix the resin, you mix it very slowly, clockwise, a little anti-clockwise, scrape the walls and make sure the resin has mixed well. You see the resin is a little hazy, so you have to mix it for another 3 to 5 minutes depending upon the temperature of your room. The more cold it is, it requires a little more time to mix the resin, and in the summers the resin is a little quick. The more slow you will be, the lesser the bubbles will be. But to remove all those micro bubbles, you definitely need a pressure pot. I shall link the pressure pot also in my description. So in case you want to check out the pressure pot, you can directly message the person concerned. But I'm not sure if those people deliver outside Delhi. So for all the Delhi people, you can just check with the person link in the description. Okay, I'm doing it a little fast now because I have a pressure pot and I will use the pressure pot for this. You see those bubbles? Many micro bubbles and a little bit of bigger ones. Now hang on till I come back. Pressure pot this cup and let's remove these bubbles. Alright, here I am with my degassed resin. No bubbles, no micro bubbles. Just pouring a little bit of resin in each mold so that the flowers stick in place. If you think your flowers have moved a bit, use your popsicle stick and push them into the place. Just make sure you're not adding too much of resin, because too much of resin will generate heat and you will end up with more bubbles. This for another 3 to 4 hours. Come back and pour a little resin. This might take around 7 to 8 layers. Let's see. Back to you after 3 hours again. See you. So it's been almost 3 hours now and I have come back to pour a little bit of more resin. This time I have added a little more resin than the last time, because now that the flowers are in place, I can just pour a little more resin. Now if at this stage you think the flowers are less, you can add a little more flowers. And let this cure for another 3 to 4 hours. So good morning, it's a new day already and we are 3 layers down. Almost half of the mold is done. I have already used the pressure pot and removed all the bubbles, adding a little more resin. The more slow you pour the resin, the lesser the bubbles. So make sure while you're pouring, you're very gentle with the resin. At this point, if you think you want to add more flowers, you can do so. I think I want to add one more big flower to this. Yes, and one in this. That's it. I'll come back after another 3 to 4 hours and add another layer. Good morning. It's almost day 3 and we have come back for the next pour. We have like just 1/5 of the mold left to be full. The resin is degassed, no bubbles. I think this will take another 2 more layers before it's completely done. So about the resin, how much resin you want to add in each layer, it all depends on the brand of resin that you use. Here I'm using Color Story liquid glass resin and around 50 grams of resin each layer. Since this one is a smaller piece, you can always cover them to avoid any dust particles. I'll see you in another 3 hours. So it's almost 4 hours now and I think we need 2 more layers and we are done. So we are here for the last layer. Push any flower that is coming out and leave this for another 24 hours. So it's a new day and we are here with the demolding part. Just make sure that your resin has been cured and it's ready to demold. So demold is very easy. Just be careful you don't hurt yourself because there might be a little sharp edges around here. So just demold very carefully. Slowly and steadily slide the mold down. And here we are. These edges might be a little sharp, so you need a foiler. This is a regular nail foiler, you can get it in the market or you can use a sandpaper. So just be careful you touch only the edges and sand this down. You got to sand this down till it's not sharp at all and smooth to touch. Okay. There's a little flower also coming out. I'm sanding it down. Okay. Our tea light holder is ready. Hope you enjoyed this easy DIY tutorial. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Also turn on the bell notifications so for the next complimentary free tutorials you don't miss them out. Thank you so much. See you guys. Take care. Have a good day. Bye bye.